Here's how I feel about this season's MVP and James Harden. When KD and Kyrie comes back in the second half of the season, everything that people are saying about James Harden's MVP candidacy and being a front runner may be validated. As a voter, I cannot ignore that he played 9 basketball games in Houston. Y'all do know that that's like 15-20% of the season. The regular season does matter. When he first got to the Nets, they had the all-time worst defense in the history of the league before they got it together. I sat courtside and watched them lose to the Detroit Pistons. I was covering the game. You was too, Jay Will, when they just lost to the Mavs. So again, James Harden, I love the way he's reinvented his game. He's a fantastic player. I'm a huge fan. I voted for him to be MVP before. But you can't ignore the journey. How can he leapfrog a player like Kawhi Leonard, who's been doing it all year on both ends of the floor? And James is not a defender, by the way. Or Joel Embiid, LeBron James. If you want to just go by stats, you can look at the Joker, Luka, and James Harden. They basically have the same stats. But I can't say James, to me, when I'm watching League Pass, has been more valuable than Dame Lillard or even Steph Curry when I'm watching games so far this year.
Whoa, Jay Rose, you gave me like 7 names right there. You gave me, are those like 7 names?
Did,
are all 7 of those names ahead of James Harden in your MVP voting right now?
I'm saying that in 30-plus games played this year, LeBron James has played like 36 overall games. James Harden has played like 24, and 9 of them were in Houston. So, no, I take that back. He played like 20 games with the Nets. But my point still stands. The body of work of all of the individuals that I named since training camp, are we going to ignore what happened? Did you remember when James showed up at training camp, right, Jay?
Honey
You remember
buns,
when he's
yeah,
at little baby's party?
Yeah.
Like the season had started. The season had started. The other people that I'm talking about was playing. And I just heard you guys debate. And that's why I like regular season awards. And then I like a postseason award. Because if you only give a postseason award, the champion, the best player on the championship team, is going to win finals MVP every year. And you can't have that.
But, Jay, can't you have a finals MVP and then after the season is over, after you have the entire season, the full body of work, then can't you make an assessment of who your NBA MVP is of the entire season? Said a lot of
all of you guys know this.
NBA MVP.
You guys can't ignore this. They're just different phases to the season. There's the preseason, the regular season, and the postseason. And we're going to judge each player as such. You can't ignore. If you take away a regular season award, you don't give players incentive to go out and show up every game to put on the show for the fans other than their check. Russell Westbrook did win MVP as a 6th seed.
Yeah,
he was just playing so outstanding and averaging a triple-double.
But Jay Rose, though, that's historical, though, right? We hadn't seen, well, none of us in our lifetime ever seen it because we were not around with Oscar Robertson. Big O wasn't. We was like puppies, if that. So, of course he wanted then. I mean, he had to win it. But here's why I have an issue with the regular season MVP versus going into the postseason. Because typically, dudes that win the MVP, they teams are fighting hard to win a world championship. So why not just let it run its course and into the playoffs?
Because it's 2 separate seasons. Like, how many times, Key, have you said, this guy plays really good in the regular season, but he's vastly different in the postseason? That happens all of the time.
Yeah.
So you still have to reward the regular season, though. The regular season deserves awards. The postseason has awards. You know what they are? Finals MVP and championship. Those are the rewards.
Jay, let me ask you this. I keep saying